Chert researchers note property of Chert. I've detected a strange signal coming from somewhere within the grove in this crater. It's very similar to the signal emitted by the quantum moon, so it stands to reason the two signals. I found some kind of a rock. I love the replay. Like, it's such a cool thing. All right. To space. Alright, we've explored a few things here. I think what I want to explore now would be the twinsies. Which I'm guessing is these guys. Come on, get back here. I think these guys are orbiting a little fast for me. Am I getting pulled into the sun? I think maybe I was for a second. Come on. Please. Let me get to the thing. I don't particularly care which one I land on at this point. Although that one seems pretty dull. Exit ship to prepare damaged landing gear. What if... we just chill with that? Gabbro is somewhere in the universe. But we've got our buddy somewhere around here. Oh, pretty cool place to hang out. I'm hoping this leads me to the drums. Maybe. You found the cave shard. Which has disappeared, of course. Friends, if you find any sign of Coleus, I implore you to tell me. He vanished without a trace during our research trip and has been missing ever since. Melore, some of us from the Sunless City are here to help and search for Coleus. Can you tell us more about your expedition? You have my gratitude. Coleus and I were studying the cave's geology. We hope to learn more about the unique and wandering rock that visits several different caves in the area. Where was young Coleus lost, Melore? He disappeared in the cave at the bottom of the dry lake bed at the North Pole. It happened in an instant without warning. I turned away from Coleus to examine a sample. When I turned back, he simply wasn't there anymore. He had a limited supply of air. Anona, I'm afraid for him. Hypothesis. We will learn more by examining the northern lake bed cave where Coleus disappeared. Search quickly, everyone. We have no time to squander. Alright. Sounds cool. Okay. What is this contraption? And why does it sing at me? It's kind of whistly. Escape Pod 2 frequency distress beacon. Yeah, okay. We need status reports for all systems, but initial things first. Is anyone unharmed? Our escape pod's passengers are afraid, but physically well, Anona. Everyone survived the crash. It's a relief, at least. You have my gratitude, Burr. Burr, were you able to find the other escape pod's distress signals? I can hear both signals somewhere in this star system, but I don't believe either escape pod's crashed on the same planet as us. Scanning external environment. Scan complete. External temperature in prohibitively high. Verdict inhospitable. Do not seek shelter on the surface. Collision imminent. Preparing for impact. Launching Escape Pod 3. Now launching Escape Pod 2. Escape Pod 2 vessel has been mortally injured. Emergency sequence activated. Awaiting departure from vessel. Alright, neat. So many clues. Is this the thing I've read? The heat from below the system's sun is more bearable below the surface. When our escape pod punctured this planet's surface, we broke into what scans show is a cave system with much cooler air. I would recommend we seek a site down there to build a long-term shelter, Anona, but these passages are a maze. Even with this danger, there's still our best chance for our survival. We'll form teams and descend into the caves to look for a shelter site. We can mark our findings on the walls to avoid becoming irreversibly lost. Be cautious, everyone. Be aware of the sand as you search. It appears to be rising gradually. Oh. Do not follow this tunnel to its end. Coleus and I will examine the horror that lies in at its terminus later, provided we live through this. Keep moving, friends. There's nothing of interest at the end of this passage but rocks. And while these rocks are interesting, they can wait until a less urgent time. Emergency escape hatch. We found an enormous cavern at the end of this passage that appears promising. I believe we could construct long-term shelter there. The cavern Moray found is a wise choice for shelter. Could one of you mark directions and the others follow, for the others to follow? This is the start of the path to the shelter site. Left directions to guide you there. Must hurry as the pathway there is filling with sand. Do not allow yourself to be buried by sand and make sure no one is lost. Okay, but hear me out. Horrors. Ha! They saw something scary. Oh. It's an angler. It startled me. They got me. They got me good. I should probably follow this path before I run out of oxygen. Right? Is there anything through there? Well, I guess never mind. The path to the shelter site is somewhat convoluted, so follow the instructions ahead closely. To reach the shelter site, walk forward until you meet the sandfall at the pit, then turn left, continue to the room filled with the rock column formations, and climb upward through the opening above them. The sand here is rising, so you must be cautious but swift. Is it rising? Am I gonna die? Wait, did they say to the left? Walk forward. Then to the left. I wonder if I'm gonna drown in sand. It almost sounds worse than lava, really. Or water. "60 seconds of oxygen remaining. I've forgotten how to drive." Alright, there we go. I'm gonna die. I've taken a wrong turn. Think I need to run back to the ship if I can. Yeah, I get it. I'm breaking my head. How about that? I was so proud of myself. I made it back just in time. I was so impressed. Welp. Let's try that again. This time, let's meet the little drummer boy. We'll be a little more careful with the oxygen, too. Alright. Where is the sun? Dootin' doo-doo. Hey, and there are the twinsies. My best landing yet. Whew. Goodness, it's you. Hello. I take it your first launch went well then. Welcome to Hourglass Twins. Mind the sand now. What are you up to? Ornfell's asked me to update our star chart, so I'm out here observing. This is one of the best places in the solar system to spot astronomical events, you know. What's weird is I've actually seen a couple of supernovae today. Usually I'd be fortunate just to see one. Keep an eye out for on the stars, and maybe you'll spot one yourself. How do I know if I've spotted a supernova? Supernova look like extra bright stars to the naked eye, but if you zoom in with your signal scope, you can tell that they're actually enormous explosions. Massive stars go supernova at the very end of their lifespan, which is why it's so unusual to see two in a single day. I wonder if some of these stars are older than we realized. I found something. Actually, never mind. Nothing to discuss at the moment. That's no trouble. If you discover anything you want to talk about, I'd be happy to help. Now we cool. What are you up to? Yeah, we've said that. Where should I explore here? To be honest, I haven't left this lake bed. I don't mean to brag, but I'm really quite good with the little scout. So I've been taking pictures of everything right here from my campsite. Have you seen the old shipwreck site on the Ember Twins' southern hemisphere? The one shooting a bright beam of light into the sky? It's not one of our own crashes, surprisingly enough. It's from a Nomai ship. I find Nomai ruins across the Twins, but strangely not a single settlement. Believe me, if there was one to see, I'd have seen it with my little scout. So where did they live? On the surface, clearly. Ember Twin is full of cave systems, though. Maybe the answer lies underground? How dangerous is a big column of falling sand? On a scale of 1 to dead, I'd give it a 7 or 8. Pretty awful, though. Right now, sand is flowing from the Ash Twin to the Ember Twin. Did you know both know the process eventually reverses? We're not completely sure why sand flows back and forth between the twins, but it seems like a natural phenomena. Oh, if you'd like to see something interesting, check out the other twin once a little more of its sand drains off. I promise you won't be disappointed. That does sound fun. Anyway, I was just saying hi. Watch out for falling sand, okay? I've had to dig myself out once or twice, and that's not half as fun as it sounds. Oh yeah, I can see stuff over there. Alright. Alright, so into the caves, right? Is this the way I went before? Honestly, this doesn't feel like the way I've went before. Seriously, where am I going? That is so cool. Oh, Ghost Matter. How about that? The Sunless City. I mean, I do like sunless cities. Can't help but feel like I have to do something from below the surface to get this guy to open up. Note, this door will remain closed for some time. Pi and I are running an experiment based on the extraordinary findings from the White Hole Station. Rami and I will be running this experiment until one of us, specifically me, can prove the other wrong. So, although it's inconvenient, the lab can currently only be accessed by the path from the Sunless City. Inviting sand inside would disrupt our setup and could have enormous consequences. We realize this is an intriguing prospect, but the door must remain closed nonetheless. An update: the High Energy Lab is now being used to design the Ash Twin project. If you're here to help, or even just observe, be sure to use the Sunless City path to the lab. Alright, cool. And that would be you. Yeah, so what is this? This is the observation deck that I got transported to when we were watching the sun explode that one time. Alright. Point of interest noted. It's the fastest way to get to the ship. Apparently it's this way. I'm gonna go back to my ship, get some oxygen, and then dive into the cave system. Because I think that down there is the way we made it in before. Like through here? Am I crazy? Or maybe it was the staircase. I don't think it was the staircase, but here I go. Where am I going? Like, I'm really curious just to see how low it goes. It's the rising sand. Neat. Alright, let's get out of here before we die. Now, this rising sand might actually prevent us from getting to the inner city. Maybe we ought to hurry? Or is it just me, or is that sand rising very quickly? Alright. Right. So there was this thing. Coleus is missing. Wait, hang on. Coleus is missing. He vanished from the lake bed cave at the bottom of the pole. Is this what I've read before? This rock is very familiar. Did you travel here, my sedimentary friend? Because your unique color and texture appears identical to a rock I met earlier. Isn't this the same rock fragment in the cave that we found at the bottom of the dry lake bed? We plan to re-examine the northern lake bed cave. Our friendly lock may meet us down there. An update. Miller and I went back to the lake bed cave and observed this rock again. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. Means the rock wanders like Quantum Moon does. How curious. Alright. Here. Standing on the rock. Look up. Look down. Look up. I look down. I didn't teleport. Bye, rock. Ow! I think I got punctured by the rock. It appeared in my butt. It was not appreciated. Alright. So this wasn't the way I went. So let's get our oxygen back. And so I think it might have been that cave. This guy. The fairly identical cave. That led us to the ship, that led us to the cave, that would lead us to the Sunless City. There's the quantum rock doing quantum rock things. Cool, cool. I'm gonna rush this. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna die. I didn't. Neat. Alright. Here we go. Into the deep. We'll go rolling in it. Not that way. Cavern and the yada yada. Left directions. It's filling with sand. Don't get lost. Okay, cool.